Okay, Paint Pro, you said it was an Atlantic Des Moines game. I do have one of those, so let's take a look and see if that's yours. There seem to be a lot of cases where you were looking around without locking your guns, which can put them in position. Okay, so how would you lock the guns, Bank Account? Would you use Control X or Shift X? Either one of those will lock guns. It's just a question of which one you want to use. Paint Pro, I found your replay, so we can definitely take a look at that one. Paint Pro, hot means you want to keep them firing. You want to keep them up and shooting every chance you get. Okay, so SAT would, and that's what I do as well. So you look at where you want your guns pointed, and then you hit the right click button on the mouse. So you hold down the right mouse button, and that allows you to look around while your guns are still targeting a certain area. Replays actually, I think they do show free look. I could be wrong though. Pretty sure they do, because I've had replays before where people are spending a lot of time looking around. So I'm gonna pick a different kind of an angle for this kind of shot here, because well, I've got so many games of Des Moines. I think this is like everyone's favorite tier 10 cruiser or something. So let's see what I can pull off here. Make something different. Yeah, I have that bug too, where I'll use right click and then I'll let go and it spins me 180 degrees from where I want. So that's disorienting for sure and forces you to kind of, you know, flip back around again. Okay, so let's talk about this replay. This is again Paint Pro 1, who's in the game right now. Paint, if you're on the community Discord, we can get into voice chat and I can talk with you directly. Or we can stay with text chat if you want, no worries. So you are using both credit flags, and that's it. I believe this is the permanent camo, so you're trying to not lose credits from playing tier 10, which is, you know, makes sense. Other flags to be considering, the repair booster flag, the one that boosts your fire chance. The one that does consumable reload is very useful too, because you've got so many consumables. You've got premium consumables, that's good. Hydro instead of defensive fire. In this game there are no carriers, so that's probably the better option. However, I find in ships that can take either hydro or defensive fire that when I choose hydro, I summon carriers. And when I choose defensive fire, I keep them away. I would much rather keep them away. So I almost always run defensive fire. Haven't saved up flags? Yeah, it makes sense. No worries. So Des Moines strengths, very fast reload, good AP on angled, somewhat slightly angled, and especially broadside targets. Very good anti-air. It's got radar that reaches almost 10 kilometers and lasts for a very long time, especially with the radar module. It's relatively maneuverable, relatively fast, and its armor is relatively trash. So you have to be very careful not to be shot at, and you're taking a big risk here. I would not shoot in this situation. Watch as your indicator increases, as people look at you and say, oh, there's an easy kill. Curvers to shooting HE. Lucky you. Oh, here comes Bama. We're going to watch the shells hit. Bama's got AP, and they're going to miss. Okay. So you can do like this kind of style, but with Des Moines, you want to try not to be targeted quickly and early. What are you going to do with those shots? I would be thinking about what kind of input you're going to do, right? All you're going to do in that situation is set somebody on fire, and you look at that, you did 4,000 damage, and you took 2,000. Not a good trade, because that damage that he took gets to be repaired. Although, look at that, you force him to DCP, and now he's going to flood. Dum-dum. Oh well. So in that case, it actually worked out for the team. But you put yourself at a significant risk there for very little reward. Now, as a... Is that what he's using? Is he using reload? Yeah, it looks like it. You know, generally speaking, I don't like to be shooting in a Des Moines unless I've got a chance to kill something, like with AP. By the way, you should be using AP here because he's sitting broadside to you. I wouldn't use it unless I wouldn't open up unless I know I'm gonna get the kill, like right about now, sure. But more importantly, I want to be shooting destroyers and cruisers. I don't want to be shooting battleships across the map. Oh, he's using range mod, okay. Sorry, I don't have all the stats like memorized and stuff like that. I know, that makes me a baddie, sorry. So, also, by you shooting like this, you're basically telling the team where you are, and I think one of the biggest assets that you have is your relative concealment and your ability to pop up places and, you know, radar and stuff like that where they don't expect you. I'm going to tab off for just 1 second. SAT, if you want to join, because I know you do a lot of games with the Des Moines, you're welcome to join in. I'm in the Kraken chat Discord still. Yeah, I tend to do that a lot. I also reload mod before, but want to try something different. Yeah, I'm a big fan of range too, so I completely understand. Alright, well, you've managed to lose 3 of your 5 destroyers, so you had a destroyer advantage, now you're at a disadvantage, unfortunately. I don't know why everybody went off to the side like that and just got themselves focused, but oh well. Yugumo, probably gonna kill the Kerr first. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have access. Tell you what, let's go to the community Discord then. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, man, I completely forgot. I'm like, oh yeah, wait, we have somebody that's like a expert at this ship, and yeah, rip. Anyway, any comments you can make right now? What you've been noticing?
Well, so far you've already covered most of it. You should not be firing at the very start, since Des Moines is relatively squishy and doesn't perform well in open waters. The range mod is okay for Des Moines, but you don't want to use it in open space if you don't have to, especially at the beginning, because no one else has better things to shoot at.
Right. You want to wait for them to commit to a target and then start shooting, right?
Yep.
Now, AP into the side, here?
Let's see. He just used DCP, so yes, it would be a good idea.
DCP, 20 seconds of immunity. It's about up now.
You could still continue to use HE to get that extra fire on. There's nothing wrong with that, so I think AP is a bit better at this point.
Right. And wouldn't it be nice if, like, in Battlefield you can destroy environments and, like, you know, break away that little tip of island?
Yeah, I kind of wish we could do that in clan battles. There's a couple of positions that are really, really strong that you wish you could destroy part of the island.
Yep.
So Missouri's taken care of, which is good. So now he's definitely moving into the... He's moving a bit closer, which is also pretty good.
I feel like he's kind of just naturally finding the right spot anyway. Like, this is where he should have been at the start of the game, especially with the enemy team pushing the way they did.
Generally, it's best to actually hold fire until you get behind that island. It's very, very strong for Des Moines and Minotaurs.
Right. And the thing about Des Moines is it's not the best of a pushing ship. It's a really good defensive ship, right? You want them to push you.
You're correct. Des Moines has pretty poor effective range, so you want enemies to push into you as much as possible.
You got a kid that's pushing towards the cap, so that's a concern.
Hopefully Yugumo and Atago would take care of it, but that's probably a little bit wishful.
Oh, nice torps on the curve first.
So this is a very good position because none of the battleships have shot on him. While Des Moines is relatively squishy, it's mostly against battleships. Against cruisers, he can tank it for quite a while. And since the battleships are kind of behind the island, he really doesn't have anything to worry about.
Right, and he's asking now if he were to switch to AP, where should he aim? And it would be the upper belt, so the upper part of the ship.
Yep, that is correct. AP is very strong, but battleship armor is still pretty hard to penetrate unless you get within like, I think it's about 5 to 7 kilometers or so.
Yeah, I think at this range you're better off just spamming HE, right?
Mm-hmm. Des Moines can light quite a bit of fire, so you want to keep them burning.
Now this is a very risky maneuver right here. Exposing broadside to just about everybody on the team.
2 battleships are behind the island, so that's okay. Kurfrost also seems to be occupied with Musashi, so it's actually not too bad.
Right.
And he definitely has to go ahead and deal with the kid, so that's definitely understandable.
I agree there. Musashi just took team torps, I think. Hard to tell. Look at that Yugumo, 206 hit points. Oh no, he's gonna ram. Oh,
So if it took team torps, was it from Turpits?
I think so.
Somehow I should not be surprised with that.
And this is...
So Yugumo's a bit too far, so I wouldn't focus on Yugumo even if he had 200 health. Instead, I'd be worried about the battleships and the kid trying to take the cap.
Yep. And I would probably try to go dark, assuming the kid's in smoke. He's not, though.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
The reason why you want to go dark is so you can go back to your original 10.6 detection. Hitting battleships is nice, but you want to see where that kid is, relatively speaking. So if you're being detected by him and your radar covers the entire cap, then that's an indication to start radaring and punish the kid.
You're just at the range here, and you know he's going to pop up right... Yep. The kid is smart. He left. He knew it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're kind of stuck, right? He's turning away because he knows the battleships are going to start shooting him.
Yeah, he needs to keep his camera focused on where the battleships are. Like, kid, if he opens fire on you, whatever. But you need to make sure you don't get citadeled from, like, Alabama or even Monarch.
Right, so making this turn right now is incredibly risky.
This is also a good time to ask Yugumo for smoke. Yugumos generally don't carry smoke anymore, but it's still worth a try.
It's a good point. And he could also... Oh, he could also be slowing down. Which he kind of is doing naturally. Oh, there's the kid. Yeah, now had he held the radar, he could be using it right now, but the kid is smart. He knows that the radar's probably out.
Yes. Although, it's actually not too bad for Des Moines, since that kid should be the only one spotting
There's
him.
Yugumo.
Oh, Yugumo did have smoke.
Yep.
Fortunately, the other Yugumo seems to be quite generous in offering himself up on the silver platter. he should be, for battleships, he should focus on Alabama and pretty much Alabama only.
Yes.
Alabama is a bit more accurate than Monarch, and Des Moines is covered by 27mm armor, so you can actually bounce Monarch's 15-inch shells if you need to.
Good point. Here's where we're slowing. Nope, never mind. I zoomed out. I wanted to see where these shells hit.
Hopefully Gearing survives against Nashimakaze and just angles against Edinburgh. That's over on their cap.
Yeah, never mind. Radar's back up just at the nick of time. I'll go back to the kid.
So yeah, overall, I'm only seeing like minor mistakes. He's doing a pretty good job so far, using the power of Des Moines' insane DPS and radar. Like Alabama should be going down here in a second.
Alright, there's the radar on the kid.
He's tunnel visioning a little bit too much because a Monarch shooting AP at his broadside could do quite a bit of damage.
Nice. Might have a double strike coming up. Nope.
Des Moines getting double strike would be amazing with the Halsey commander.
Yeah. Oh, big hit there. That was HE.
Oh. That's pretty fortunate then.
Yeah, that would have been a deletion probably if it was AP.
With Monarch, it's a little bit suspect because her AP is not terribly accurate.
True. Alright, change to AP now. Now, there's also the Zhao shooting.
Uh-oh. He got quite lucky there.
Yep.
Monarch's AP should have been able to take off more than that.
Well, like you were saying, AP is suspect. I like this Yugumo though. Hats off to him for trying to help.
Yep. He can actually do that because Monarch is focused on you. So
Yep.
he's... Oh my, that's a lot of broadside.
Yeah, and he got punished for it hard. None of them were citadels, but they were still full pens.
Yeah, that wasn't very good play right there. That was just too much broadside, and even though, as you said, none of these were citadels, AP penetrations hurt quite a bit.
Now, what more skilled players will typically do is they'll try to bait the shot, so they'll go a little bit of broadside to make it look like they're going to turn broad, and then they'll turn in hard and force the shells to bounce off the armored belt. So that's a maneuver I think to get used to doing and to get more comfortable with.
He should be popping, yeah. He seemed to have popped Repair Party a little bit late.
Yeah.
So the best bet at this point is you have to kill one ship.
While not dying at the same time.
Yeah, I don't like Des Moines firing at this range just because most other cruisers are actually superior.
Yep.
Des Moines' firepower is excellent, but it's really only good out until about 12 kilometers for cruisers and about 16, 17 for battleships.
Still, high caliber and definitely burning the world at 16 fires.
It is pretty good performance. Definitely can still we still have quite a bit to improve. Des Moines is a very high, not high skill floor, high skill ceiling. She's very difficult to play effectively, but when she does, holy crap, you can do quite a bit.
Oh yeah. Now the Zhao has finally decided to stop turning away and he's pushing in, which means torpedoes, so AP time.
That Zhao actually misplayed quite heavily. back at 15 kilometers, Zhao could actually angle a little bit and get all of his guns on target.
Yep.
But he's pushed into Des Moines. He pushed within 10 kilometers, so now it's Des Moines' advantage. If he didn't lose so much HP against the Monarch for free, then he would have won against the Zhao.
Yep. I almost feel like at that part there, he should have given up on the Zhao and gone mid to help the Yagumo. You know what I mean? To try to take out the Edinburgh.
That's definitely worth consideration.
All right. For those of you guys who are watching, any comments you'd like to make? Edge Case, thanks for coming in. See you later.
Overall, I would like to see more stealth-used gameplay. Like, you don't have to fire all your guns at all the time in Des Moines. Knowing where the enemy's positioned by using your detection range is actually very powerful.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's something that, it's kind of a bad habit that you learn at the low tiers. Just because you have a shot doesn't mean you should take the shot.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're used to Omaha and Phoenix, where you can just sit there and shoot for days at extremely long range, and every now and then you'll get blapped by a battleship, but the dispersion at the low tiers is so bad for battleships that it's very rare to get one-shotted. But at the higher tiers, that's a different story.
Yep. A lot of Des Moines gameplay actually comes from positioning. Like, you can be a good shot at long range, but if you do that in Des Moines, you might as well just take like a Hindenburg. But if you position well within like 8 to 12 kilometers or so in Des Moines, then you can just decimate pretty much everything.
Yeah. Yeah, Pate, thanks for sending in the replay. If you've only been playing since December, I mean, that's pretty impressive to see you having battles like this and not being completely deleted. So hats off to you for that. I mean, hopefully you picked up on a few major tips like what we said at the beginning. Don't be taking those shots early. Get into cover first, then open up once you're secure. Prioritizing destroyers, working with the fleet, thinking about when to use radar, all that stuff will come to you over time.
Yeah, overall it's actually still quite good. I mean, the only major mistake I can think of is when you opened fire at the very beginning and when you gave Monarch too much broadside. Other than that, it was pretty solid gameplay throughout.
Absolutely. And also, don't be afraid to drop to lower tiers with cruisers to practice some of the things that we've been talking about here, because that actually applies to at pretty much any level.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, SAT, thanks for joining. Sorry, you came in halfway through instead at the beginning, but still, I thought it was great having your commentary, and so thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
No problem, man. All right, so that takes care of